Do these three things, and I promise you, your credit score is gonna go out the roof in the year 2023. Let's dive right in. So a study from FICO showed that credit scores were at an all-time high last year, 2022. And I find that kind of ironic because we are literally recovering from a pandemic as well as on the brink of a recession. So if your credit score was not at an all-time high last year, this video is for you. I got you. So before we begin, let me get you caught up with some recent changes that happened with FICO as of last year. So FICO had released a new model called Ultra FICO. FICO Ultra is a little bit different than the typical scoring model that we've been using up until this point, your typical FICO score. And where it's different is, you may not like this, but they need to get access to your bank account, your banking information, checking account, any money market account you may have. And what they're looking for is 4 things. They're looking for the length of time your bank account has been open. They're looking at the frequency of your bank account transactions. They're also looking for evidence that you have consistent cash in your account. They're also looking at the history of your positive bank account balance. The one thing I'd like to mention about Ultra FICO is you have to opt in into this new program. This is not something that you're obliged to use, so just know that. And I know a lot of people are very sensitive about sharing their personal bank account information to the public, so me personally, I don't use this service. I don't see the need for it for me, but for the next person that is building their credit, this may actually be of great use for them to help them, grow their credit score. So another thing that's also going to be launching this year is BNPL, Buy Now, Pay Later programs. An example of these programs are like Affirm, Afterpay, QuadPay. As of spring, Equifax and TransUnion, you're going to start reporting this into your report. So as long as you're paying those on time and paying them out, I don't see how this will affect you in any way negatively. It's actually going to help build your score as well. So be on the lookout for that. All right, let's dive right into the 3 things that if you do this, I guarantee your score is going to shoot out the roof this year in 2023. The first one is keeping your credit utilization low. A credit utilization is essentially how much of your entire credit card that you are currently using or you currently have a balance on. So for example, if you have a $1,000 credit card and you have used up to $800 on that $1,000 credit card, then you are at 80% credit utilization. Your goal is to reduce that to 0 or nothing more than 20%. So for an example, if you have $1,000 on a credit card with Chase Bank, you want to keep your balance on there below $200. And if you do that, I promise you, your score is gonna go up. And as long as you're trending at reducing it, you're always gonna be in good shape. But just remember, keep it at the most 20% and always strive to get that to 0. The second thing is paying your bills on time. Your payment history is always the #1 major factor when it comes to your credit report. One thing I always like to do is make sure I pay my bills on time by setting alarms and setting alerts to let me know ahead of time prior to when it's due and even the day of when it's due. Times are tough. Like I said earlier, we have the pandemic and recession to talk about. If you cannot make your payment on time, I always highly advise calling the provider, your lender, your bank, whoever you got to make the payment to, just speaking to somebody to set up some type of payment arrangement because they understand what we're going through. Like I said earlier, everyone understands. So the fact that you're actually being proactive and talking to somebody about the situation, they'll be willing to help you out versus just writing you off and reporting you to credit bureaus and then sending you off to collections. So just keep that in mind. The third thing is mixing up your credit accounts. Banks and lenders always love to see that you have different types of credit accounts. An example is you have a credit card here and then you have an auto loan or maybe a home loan there. There are 2 types of credit accounts. One is a fixed account, one is a revolving account. A fixed account is something that, you get a whole lump sum loan, it's fixed, you have a fixed rate, and the period is fixed. Maybe it's 5 years, maybe it's 30 years for a home loan, maybe it's 5-6 years for a car. A revolving account is more like a credit card, for instance. You just pay those monthly and you pay those down. Like I said earlier, keep your utilization rate down. Lenders and banks, they love to see that you have a mix of both. So if you made it this far, I have a bonus tip that can help you increase your score by 20 points just from yourself. And this is called Experian Boost. With Experian Boost, all you have to do is just opt in and share your monthly payments towards your rent or your utilities like your light or your internet. And essentially by opting in, they're gonna be able to look at your payment history to see if you make those payments on time. And if you have a habit of making your monthly payments towards your rent and your light bills and internet bills on time, then I don't see why this would hurt you. Signing up for this, opting into the service is gonna instantly increase your credit score by 15 to 20 points just by doing that alone. So now you made it all the way to the end. If you saw some value from this video, I wanna let you know that I wrote an ebook. It's free and it's gonna help you increase your credit score all the way up to 850 points. The link to this ebook is gonna be somewhere below. As I said earlier, it's free, so go ahead and grab you a copy and feel free to write me or send me an email to let me know what you think. If you also saw some value in this video, I would appreciate it if you can like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos I have coming up around money, credit, investing, and the whole yard. Till next time, peace.